Hello guys, in this video I'm going to show you how you can design a flyer using just shapes in Adobe Illustrator. Alright, let's start. Okay guys, let's start with this flyer. If you want, you can download this document. I'm gonna put a link on the comment below and then you can follow me along. If you want to start from scratch, okay, feel free, and then you have to create a new document. Let me show you the size of the document. If I select here my artboard tool, and if you click on the artboard here on the right, you can see this document is 400 point by 750. What you have to do if you want to create a new document, go to the File menu and select New. And here, when you select New in this window, what you have to select here is 400 point by 750 point. Just to show you a reference, if you are working, for example, for inches, that is about 5.5 by 10.4 inches. So if you're going to work with centimeters, you can see it's 14 by 26 centimeters. But I prefer to work with points in Adobe Illustrator. And then you can select here, Create, and what's gonna happen, you have this document, and then you can follow me. I'm gonna go back to the other document, and I am going to continue with this one because I can show you the final result there. All right, I am going to go back to my selection tool, and here I would like to show you a few things that we are going to do. First, I create this drawing with Illustrator with the brush tool, just to have a reference of what I would like to do. It's very good to work with a piece of paper, or you can work with the brush tool in Illustrator. If you want to create a reference, for example, I would like to do something like that, and then I would like to put this building on this area. You see, it's not bad to start with a sketch of what you are going to do. Okay, that is the idea. But I have my sketch already there. Then we are going to talk about a few topics like layers, how you can work with the layers panel, how you can select, how you can group, arrange element, and align element as well. And then I'm gonna start creating this, and we're going to create shapes. We're gonna work with colors, gradient, the pen tool, and text as well. And we're going to review a few panels, of course. All right, let's talk a little bit to a few concepts that is very important to understand before we start. Is the way that you can work with layers and you can select element. Let me show you. Here on the top right, we have the layers panel. By the way, guys, if you don't see the same interface, okay, like my interface, well, I recommend you to do this. If you go here to the Essentials menu, you can see Essentials. All right, double check you have that one. If you have something that is not the same like mine, you can go here to the Reset Essential, and Illustrator is going to reset everything. Maybe you are using an older version of Illustrator, and maybe you can see here Essential. I'm gonna select Essential Classic. Okay, and this is the way that Illustrator used to be, with more tools, the control bar on the top, and here you have this properties panel. Okay, but I am going back to the Essential because Illustrator is more simple on this way. This is the version 2020. All right, let's start with the layers panel. Let's go here to the layers, and you can see I have just one layer. I have many elements, but I have just one layer here. And if I open the layer, you can see all the elements that I have inside of this layer. You can see there are many different elements. If I select, for example, all these elements, what I can do, I'm gonna go here to the object, I'm gonna select group, and now you can see that is the group. I can hide this group, I can show this group. All those elements that you see, that you saw here is different shapes that I create this sketch. Okay, and then you can see if I select this one, you can see that is the part of the text that I have here on this layer. One of the things that I like to do on the layers panel, I'm going here on the top right, you can click here, and I'm going all the way down to select the panel option. And I am going to increase a little bit the size of that thumbnail. You can put here large, click OK, and now it's a little easier to see what is every single element. In addition, for example, I'm gonna select this element here, I'm gonna hold down the shift, and then I'm gonna select this other element, like the path and the heel, and then you can see both elements are selected, and then go here to the object menu and select group, and now you can see that is a group of elements. Then you have the sky there, the sketch on the other page, and you have the guy, the hat, and all those elements. You see, that is the way that you can work with layers. It's pretty good if you want to bring to front, send to back. We have a few commands, but it's very good to work with layer as well. All right, let me show you all the thing. First, I'm gonna select this hat, and this is already a group that you can see here. For example, let's say I would like to move this star a little bit. What you can do, you can double click. If you double click, what's gonna happen, you will isolate the element that you double click. And then I can select this star. I'm gonna move maybe this one a little more to the right, to the left, and to the top. Okay, something like that. Yeah, that looks nice. And then I can just double click outside. You will go back to normal. You see, every time that you double click in one element, even if that is not a group, for example, I'm gonna click on the sky, double click. You see, and now I can concentrate more on the sky if I want to do changes. Then double click outside. All right, let's start with this. In order to separate from this layer, I am going to create another layer for this artboard. In that case, go all the way to the bottom, create a new layer, and you can see this layer is the red layer, the layer 2. If I create any element with that layer selected, look at what happened. You will see the borders are red. But if I select the bottom layer, and if you create something, you will have that light blue edges. All right? And that is what happened. I'm going to delete this element because I'm going to start from scratch. All right, first step, press the key D as in Daniel. What's going to happen if you press the key D, you will reset the color to black and white to start with the same colors. Then press the key M as in Mary, because if you press the key M, automatically you will select the rectangle tool. You can see the key M is there. All right, then with that tool, position the mouse here on the top left, click and drag diagonal down. If that happens, you see it's not precisely on the same spot. Okay, delete that and try again. Try to put exactly on the intersection and then click and drag and create a big rectangle, something like this, and then let it go. If you see the rectangles by default, since you already pressed the key D as in Daniel, is black and white. Then I'm gonna go here to the properties, and then you can see the fill and the stroke. I don't need a stroke. In that case, I'm gonna click there and I'm gonna select non-stroke. Then I'm gonna click there to collapse that panel. On the top part, if you click there, you can select color. For example, just to start, I'm gonna select something like a light blue and then click there to collapse the panel. Can you see? And you have a color there. Guys, one of the things that I recommend you to do after you finish the creation of any rectangle, go back and select the selection tool. Why? Because let's say, for example, if you want to move the rectangle a little bit, if you click and drag, what's going to happen, you are going to create another rectangle, which is not the idea. I'm going to Command Z. Go back and select the selection tool, which is the first one. And now I can select this rectangle. All right, and then just double check the rectangle is on the top layer. We create that one. You have to select that one. If you want to avoid to create elements on the bottom layer, one of the things that you can do, we can lock this layer. Look at this. If you just click there, you are going to lock that layer, and then you can't select element that you have on this layer, which is very handy if you are working with different artboards. All right, I'm gonna continue working with this layer, and then I would like to change this for a gradient similar of that one. In that case, I'm gonna go back to the properties. Let's go and let's open a panel. If you want panels, all the panels are here on the window menu. You can scroll down and select gradient. All right, here I have this gradient, the one that comes by default. Double check this element is selected, and then you can click here. All right, guys, if you already download this document, maybe your gradient doesn't look the same, but no worries about that. Just click there, and then you will apply the gradient. Then, if you see here, I have two stops or two circles that I can move this one to the right, and you can see what happened on the gradient. I can move this one to the left as well. And then, if you want a gradient that is in the other direction, what you have to do is change that here. You can see I have here 0. The angle is 0 degrees. Just click there and select 90. And you can see here the black is on the top and you have white on the bottom. Then double click on this dot and you will open the color options or the color panel. If you want another color, I can select another color from the swatches that I have here, but I would like my own color. I would like to see the CMYK sliders. In that case, you have to go here to this little icon and then select CMYK, because you can see just the grayscale slider. Select CMYK there, and now you can see this slider. If you want, you can start with a reference color. You can just click, for example, around here, and then you can start moving the slider. If you want a color that with a little, maybe a little of green, a little lighter, move a little to the left, and then decide whatever color that you want. Click on the dot again to collapse that. You see, that is the idea of the sky. By the way, maybe I am going to use this panel pretty often. In that case, what I'm going to do, I am going to move the panel around here, and as soon as you see that blue line, let it go. You can see the panel will be here, but it's using too much space. In that case, I am going to click here on these little kind of arrows to collapse the panel, and you can see just the icon. If you want to see the name, position the mouse here on this area, click and drag to the left, and you can see the name of the panel. And then you will have a quick access to go back and forth to that panel. We're going to put more panels here on this area. You see, that is the idea how you can apply a gradient. All right, now I would like to create the lowest part, this hill, but look at this. I like to lock every time that I finish with something that maybe if you click and drag, you're gonna move that. In order to avoid that, I recommend you to lock this element. You can lock one element from the object lock selection. All right, that is one way to do it. Or the other way that I prefer to do it is working with the layers. Look at what happened here. If you open the layers, you can see you can open the bottom layer, you can see all the elements, but I am going to open the top layer. And you see the rectangle is there and it's already locked. You can lock from here, or you can just lock from here. Just click there and you will have that lock. All right, let's continue. Now I am going to create this. It's a kind of a hill. In that case, select the rectangle again, the rectangle tool. Position the mouse on the bottom left part and create a rectangle that is around like this. By default, you will see the gradient, but I don't need that gradient. I would like to apply another color. But remember, every time that you create one element, go back to the selection tool. That is a good practice, guys. Then go back to the properties, and then select here the fill. And I'm gonna select, for example, a base color, let's say that one. If you don't like the color, if you prefer to tweak a little bit, just select the palette, and then you can start moving this slider if you want something a little lighter, maybe something like that with more cyan, less yellow. You can see, select whatever you prefer as a color there. I'm gonna keep just that one. I'm gonna close this. And now what we need for this hill, we need a kind of a curve. Maybe I'm gonna reduce a little bit the size, maybe something like this, and we need a curve. In order to create a curve, I recommend you to use a pretty cool tool that is here inside the pen tool. What you have to do, right click over this tool. And by the way, if you don't have a right click, if you're working with a trackpad, also you can click and hold, and then you will see the anchor point tool. Select that tool. Position the mouse right on the border until you will see that little icon that is a kind of a curve, and click and drag up. You can see, and you can move to the right, to the left, is whatever you prefer, and I can create that kind of hill. You can see, it's very nice to do that. Then I am going to create a rectangle because I would like to work with this road. Let's create a rectangle on this area, something like this. But for this, I would like to change the color. Go back to the selection tool, go back here to the fill, and maybe I'm gonna put this a little darker. Okay, I'm gonna add a little more these two colors. And maybe the base color, I'm gonna put a little lighter also. Okay, I'm gonna select this color first, okay, the hill, and then go here, I'm gonna reduce maybe a little bit, okay, this a little lighter. All right, then select this is kind of the road. And now I would like to modify this element. In that case, what you have to do, you have to work with the white arrow. With the white arrow first, I would like to move this corner. In order to do that, first you have to do a first click. Click and release the click, and if you see now that is selected, and now the others, if you see this one is white, white, and white, and just this one is selected with red. Okay, and now I'm gonna move this one here, then I'm gonna select this one, click. You can see now that is selected, and then start moving around here like that. Then I am going to move this one all the way around here, And this one maybe around to the center, maybe something like that. Perfect. Now select the tool that I told you. This is the anchor point tool. And then position the mouse here on the border, and then you can click and drag to create that curve. It's whatever you prefer. And then I'm gonna do the same with this one. It's gonna look like a road like that, and looks very nice. Then go back to the selection tool. All right, how we can remove that little thing, guys? If you don't see the same, stretch a little outside until you see the road is a little outside the hill, because I'm going to show you how you can get rid of just that part. First step, double check you have the selection tool, select the hill with one click, hold on the shift in your keyboard and select the path of this road. You have both selected. And then I am going to work with another tool. This is the shape builder tool. All right, if you click on that tool, what you can do, you can position the mouse there, hold down the Option key in your keyboard if you are using a Mac, or the Alt if you are using a PC. Hold it and you will see a minus, and then just click on that to delete that element. All right, that is the idea of what you have to do. Then select the selection tool and click outside, and you can see what happened. The road goes up to there. All right, let's continue. Now I am going to create this building. Before I do that, I would like to block this. Just select this guy, hold on the shift, select this other one, then go to the layers panel, and I would like to lock this too. But before I do that, I would like to group it. Go back to the properties panel, and all the way down you have the quick actions. The quick action is very good because you can group elements that you have selected. If you don't see quick actions here, go to the object menu and select group. All right, then go back to the layers, and I am going to lock that group. Then you can't select that, and then you can continue working. All right, let's create this kind of building. Let me unlock to show you what I did. I'm gonna select this. I'm gonna copy from the edit menu, copy. All right, I'm gonna select the top layer, and I'm gonna go to the edit and then select paste. Okay, look at the idea. I'm gonna put this element here, and I am going to remove the fill color, and I'm gonna add just a color, for example, for the border, and then remove the fill color, no color. Okay, then you can see all the elements that I had there. It's a little easier to see the idea. I'm gonna zoom a little bit. If you select the element, you can select Command or Control on PC plus many times, and you can see how I did that. Let's try to create something like that. All right, I'm gonna scroll a little down, and I am going to create on this area. First, I'm gonna create the base. This one could be just a rectangle that I'm going to put around here. And then if you want round the corners, what you can do, go back to the selection tool, and I'm gonna put round the corners like this. Okay, you have round the corners. If you don't need round the corners on the bottom, what you have to do is this. Here, I had the transform option, and on those three dots, you can see more options to transform. And you can see the curvature of this element. Okay, in that case, what I can do, I can just reduce this, or you can just highlight, put the number 0, and then hit enter, and you see you don't have that. It's a straight there. Or the other thing that you can do, you can double click on that, and if you double click on that, automatically you will open the transform panel instead to go to the three dots. Or you can just highlight this, type 0, enter, and you see you don't have that curve on the lowest part. I am going to put my transform panel right beneath the gradient, because maybe I am going to use the transform panel again. And this one comes with 2 more panels. Just keep those panels there. All right, then what I can do with a white arrow, if I need that line a little lower, what I have to do first, click on it. I can see just this one is selected, and then I'm gonna drag down a little bit on a straight line, something like that. Doesn't have to be the same, it's just the idea. Then look at this element that I have here. First, I am going to create another shape, something like this. I am going to go back to the selection tool, and I'm going to put here the rounded corners. All right. Then I am going to create another element with the rectangle tool, something that is like one of those threshold or window. Okay. And I'm going to create just something like that. All right, look at this. When the element is too, with this shape is too small, you won't be able to see those dots on the corners. I had to stretch a little more like that. But if you don't see those one, what you have to do, you can go here directly to the transform panel, click on this link, okay, to link all the corners the same, and just increase that. If you increase this value, what's going to happen, now you will have rounded corners. You can see it's pretty easy. All right, then I'm going to select this element. I'm going to put around here for the first one. All right, add a fill color because it's going to be easier to select, guys, because if you want to click and drag and move this one, you can't move. But if you have a fill color, I'm going to add whatever color, then it's easier to move this element from the fill. All right, I'm going to put this element around here. Hold on the Option on your keyboard or the Alt on PC and drag this guy around to the right and then let it go. Something like that. Okay? And then go here to the Object menu, Transform, and Transform again. Or you can use the shortcut Command D or Control D on PC. And what's going to happen, you will duplicate that element. I'm going to select Command D again, and the last one, Command D. You can see it's very good what you can do there. And then I can select this shape, and maybe I'm going to move a little to the right with my keyboard. I can move, and then it's exactly there on the center. All right, it's looking good. And now I am going to select all these elements like this. And now I am going to use the Shape Builder tool again. Because with the Shape Builder, what I can do, I can hold down the Option key on my Mac or the Alt on PC, and I am going to click on these guys, or just click and drag to remove all those one, and then I can click here, the one that I have on the top. You see, and you have all those thresholds. It's pretty simple to work with that tool. Go back to the Selection tool. I'm going to put this one around here, okay, on this area, and then I am going to add a color. Which is going to be this color because we're going to use that color. Okay, for this one also I'm going to use the same color. All right, then select this guy, copy paste. You have to go here to the edit copy and then edit paste. Illustrator automatically will paste on the center of the screen. Hold on the shift and I am going to shrink this a little bit, and then I'm going to put here on the top maybe something like that. Okay, and I have a second element. For this one, it's just a simple rectangle that I'm going to create with my rectangle tool, something like that. And then on the transform panel, double check you have the link here between values, and I am going to increase the roundness of that, and you can see a rectangle with rounded corners. Then for this shape, just create a circle. In that case, click and hold the rectangle, and you will see the ellipse tool inside. And then I'm going to create a circle. Hold on the shift and create a perfect circle like this. Go back to the selection tool. I'm going to move all these guys a little down in order to have more space. Select this element and put it over there. And I would like to erase half of this element. In that case, I'm going to select the eraser tool. The eraser tool is very good because you can erase like this if you want. I'm going to Command Z. Or you can hold down the Option or the Alt on PC, and look at this. From outside the shape, I'm going to click and start dragging, creating a rectangle. And look at that. And then let it go. You can erase one half of that element. Then go back to the selection tool. I am going to put this one kind of above, something like that. And then I'm going to take advantage. I will like the same thing here. I'm going to take advantage of this shape. Just copy paste, Command C or Control C and Command or Control V. And then I would like to rotate here on this part on the transform option. I'm going to rotate this one to 90 degrees. All right, I'm going to put this one outside. I'm going to shrink a little bit like this. From the handles that you can see here, I can increase a little bit. I'm going to shrink. Maybe I'm going to add a little more rounders here on this part, maybe 4 points. And then I'm going to put this one around here. And I would like to send to back. What I can do here, I can select Arrange and then send to back. If you don't see the Arrange here, go to the Object, select Arrange, and then send to back. All right, the element is there. And now select everything. Okay, with the black arrow, click and drag like this to select everything. And here you have the align option. I'm gonna align everything on the center. Click that. Okay, and look at what happened. Everything went to the center of the page. I'm gonna undo this. Edit, undo. Because what I have here on the left, this icon by default is aligned to artboard. I have to double check align to selection is selected. And then I'm going to click on this icon, click, and now everything is aligned to the center. All right, then what I'm going to do, if you see the result that I have here on the beginning, I'm going to press Command or Control 0 to see the entire page. All right, I'm going to scroll a little bit there. And you see, I am not using stroke. In that case, what I'm going to do, I'm going to select all these guys, and I am going to remove the stroke, no stroke, and that is the shape that I'm looking for. Select everything. I am going to group here. And then I would like to add effects. If you see it's a little warp, that area is like an arc. In that case, I can go here to this little icon to add effects. In Illustrator, there are two ways that you can add. There are more ways, but generally speaking, there are two ways to add effects. First, you can from here, or you can go to the effect menu. I prefer to do on this way. I'm going to show you why. Then go here to the effect, and then you have many different effects. Select the warp and select arc, and then you see that happen. I'm going to reduce this a little bit. Maybe I'm going to increase the vertical. All right, start playing around until you have something that you like, and then click OK. Maybe I'm going to shrink a little bit, and this is what I'm looking for. Why I said apply from here, because look at this, guys. What if you want to edit this effect? You want a little more rounded, a little more apply more arc on this area. What you can do, just select here this word. Do not apply the effect again, because if you try to do it, what's going to happen, Illustrator going to show you a dialog box that if you want to apply the effect again, that is not the idea. Okay, click cancel there, and the only thing that you have to do is click on the word effect here and just move whatever you want, and then click OK again. All right, it's very nice. All right, I'm gonna move my, if you hold on the space bar, you will see the hand tool, and then you can move the entire, you can scroll here to the left, and then I'm gonna release the space bar. I'm going to move this guy over here. All right, and then I would like to send on the back of the heel. In that case, I would like to use the layers panel. I can just select this element. I'm gonna move, drag down beneath the heel, and now you can see is there on the back. All right, that is the idea. All right, if I want to create this guy, one of the things that I recommend you to do is to take different references. You can go to internet, you can say search, for example, guy on a suit or something like that, and then you can start creating something. I'm gonna copy this. I'm going to select this. I'm gonna paste to show you what I did. I'm gonna put here, and I am going to go here. I'm going to remove the fill colors, and I'm gonna select here to show you just the stroke. Okay, and here you can see everything that I did on this element. It's nothing too complicated because you can see the different shapes. What I recommend you to do, I'm gonna start first for the pants. In that case, just select the pen tool. The pen tool is a great tool that we can use. You can just click, 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 and then go back to the beginning, and you will create a rectangle. I'm gonna delete this twice. All right, let's practice with this. First, I'm gonna create the pant. I'm gonna just do one click here. Oh, by the way, can you see those purple lines? Those are the smart guides. The smart guides will show you, for example, if you are moving one element, like this one, you can see as soon you intersect that element, you will see different guides. But something that bothers me, I prefer to disconnect if I am going to create a drawing. You can go here to the view menu, all the way down, deselect smart guides. Okay, you can see. All right, now let's start. Select the pen tool. Now I'm gonna create the pant. Just select and click one click here. Click, then you can click here on this area. A second click, then something like this, then another click, and then go to the beginning. You can see it's something pretty simple, and then go back to the selection tool, and we can move this guy. Then I'm gonna add a fill color. I'm gonna select my fill, and here on this area I can select whatever color. I'm gonna select something like a bluish, something like that, and then remove the stroke color because we don't need a stroke for this. If you want to create something more like a buggy pant, like these ones, more curve on this area, remember you can use here inside the pen tool, you have the anchor point tool. I can position my mouse right on the border, and I'm gonna move a little outside. By the way, I'm gonna command plus to zoom on this in order to have more control on this. All right, then I'm gonna click here and drag a little to the left, and you have the leg is there. I'm going to move a little bit this to the right that you can see. I'm gonna remove this, and you can see the before after of what's gonna happen. And I just create this leg. If you want to create the second one, just copy paste, Command C, Command V, or Control on the PC, and I am going to put this one side by side. The one on the left, let's say for example you have the sun on the right, and then you have more light on the right than the left. In that case, I can go here to the fill color, and I'm gonna add a little black, for example, to put this one is a little darker. Then if you want to create the shoes, it's something super simple. Just select the pen tool and then create, for example, something like this. I'm gonna do a few clicks. But the idea, guys, of this is not to create something perfect, just the idea of how this gonna looks like as a cartoon. Then I'm gonna put black shoes as well. I can select these shoes with the selection tool. I'm gonna select copy paste. All right, this one I'm gonna put here, and the other one, for example, I'm gonna put that one. And probably this one I'm gonna reduce the size a little bit in order to have something that is more like a perspective. All right, then the part of the jacket. Look at this part. If you create the jacket, just select the pen tool, and I am going to start clicking from here. The jacket, if I go on this area, oh, by the way, it's much better if you work with a stroke and no fill when you start drawing. I'm going to do a few clicks. First, this is the part of the jacket. I can click there. I'm gonna go here to the, for example, to the top, something like that, and then go to the shoulder. I'm going to the arm, going down. This is the arm, gonna hold the briefcase. Then you have the other part of the arm. And in this area, I can go straight, but I prefer to create a jacket is something like this. And you can see the waist here, and then you can go to the beginning. You see, it's nothing too complicated. It's pretty simple, the idea. And then with the white arrow, you can start moving these guys to the position that you want. If you want, I can start moving, for example, this one to the top and this one to the right, or whatever position that you want. Okay, then to create this part is pretty simple. Just select the pen tool again. I'm gonna put my mouse here. I'm gonna click, then I'm gonna click on this area. Okay, and then I can go around here, go all the way down, and then go to the beginning. And you have that area. The left part of the jacket, I'm gonna hold on the space bar. I'm gonna move a little down, and I'm going to do kind of the same, but a little shorter here. The jacket, maybe I'm gonna start around here. It doesn't have to be the same like my drawing. Then I'm gonna go here, go to maybe this area, go to the arm. Hold on the space bar if you want to move, and then release the space bar. I'm gonna go here to up, okay, for the arm. Like it goes a little down, wider, and then go to this part. And here you can go straight, or again, you can go here to the center part. I'm gonna go down like this and go back to the beginning. And if you want, you can create this area like this one, but I'm not planning to do that. I'm gonna stop there. Okay, let's talk about the tie. This is pretty simple. Just position the mouse around here on the center and just create a tie, something like this. Then go here, go all the way down, and you have to see the tie on that area. The color is the same. I can start here from the corner and just create something that goes up to the tie like this. Oh, if this happens, just press the key escape, or you can Command Z and then double check you hit the last one, okay, to close that. I'm gonna create the other one. I'm gonna start here, just do a few clicks like that. You see, it's pretty simple, the idea, and continue doing this until you have the entire guy. I am going to do this a little faster. Okay, guys, it doesn't have to be the same. It's just the idea of how you can do it. Maybe I create the top part is too big. Then select the selection tool. I can select all this guy like this. I can select, hold on the shift. I can select all this part, and maybe and select this area also. And then maybe I'm gonna hold on the shift, and then I'm gonna shrink a little bit, and then I can put the guy on a better position. I'm gonna select this. I'm gonna move the guy around here, and now it looks much better. Also, you can use the arrows on your keyboard if you want to put up or down. All right, that is the idea. And then start adding colors. To add colors, if I show you the colors that I have here, I use the tie. I'm gonna select the tie. I'm gonna go here to the fill color and add something kind of red. Then I'm gonna select the skin. And for the skin, you have to select the face, hold on the shift, select the hand in order to add the same color. And I'm gonna here, and I'm gonna add something maybe a little like that. Okay, a little lighter, maybe like that. And then I'm gonna select the hair. The hair is going to be dark. Maybe you can put just black, and then select the suit. For the suit, one thing that I can do, I can put the same color of the pant. If you want exactly the same color, you can select the eyedropper, and then you can click here, and you will have the same color. Then select the selection tool. Go to this area. I'm gonna select that, and then maybe I can select the same color of this pant. It's not a bad idea. I'm gonna select the eyedropper, and I'm gonna click on the pant, and then select the selection tool, select this part of the suit, select the eyedropper. I'm gonna click on the pant, but this one I would like a little darker. In that case, click here and add maybe a little of black. All right, and then continue adding color. I'm gonna do this a little fast. Okay, guys, as soon as you finish, what you have to do, you have to select all these guys and then remove the stroke, because it's not the idea to use stroke. The idea is to use just the fill color, and then you can start changing with the white arrow, trying to put all the elements, all the anchors on the position that you want. There is something that I don't like here, and one solution that I can have is to create a shadow. If you see on my drawing, I create a shadow there. I am going to do the same. Just select the pen tool. I'm going to put my mouse here on this corner, and I can create, for example, just a shadow that goes, for example, up to here, and then I can put something like that. And then just select a darker color. I'm going to put a little shadow like that. It's not the same drawing, but you have the idea of how you can create this kind of drawing. Then about the hat, here I recommend you to use a reference. Go to internet, select Uncle Sam hat, and then you will receive many different results. Then you can just right click, copy, and then paste here, and then you can start creating all those shapes. For example, if this one, it will be an image, I can select here, for example, edit copy, edit paste. And if I want to create something like this, let's say this is an image, what I can do is creating all the different elements. For example, first, I am going to create with the ellipse tool. I'm going to create an ellipse like this. And then I'm going to set the white arrow. I'm going to put around here. And then I can start moving these anchors. See, for example, I can do something like this. I can put this anchor here, trying to create the same thing. One of the things that I always recommend you, try to work not with fill, remove the fill, and then put the stroke any color that is very different than that. For example, I am going to put a color that is kind of light green, and then it's easier to follow those lines to put in position that you want. All right, in this part, I'm gonna zoom to show you much better. In this part, if you want a straight line, look at what you can do. Here, with the same tool that we're using inside the anchor point tool, you can just click here, click, you see, and you have a line like that. Or you can click and drag to create the lines, and also you can break this. I'm gonna click and drag this one like this, but it's very nice because you can break the lines as well, and you can create the lines that you want. I'm gonna select the white arrow again, and then if I want to continue, for example, this one, I can just select the pen tool. I prefer to use the pen tool. I'm gonna click here, You see, click here and click there. And then with the other tool that is inside the pen tool, the anchor point tool, I can put my mouse there, click and drag to create that line. Then this ribbon, just select the pen tool, and I'm gonna start from there. Start just from outside. Then we can remove everything with the shape builder tool. I'm gonna click here. I can go all the way here to the right. I'm gonna go down. I'm gonna go here to the beginning. And then with the tool that is inside again, you have the anchor point tool. I can put my mouse there and click and drag to create a nice curve that I need. Make sense? And then for this one on the center, again, you can create just a circle, but I prefer to practice more with the pen tool. I'm gonna do one click here, okay, one click here, one click here, one click here, and then one click on the beginning. And then with the tool that is inside the anchor, I'm gonna select that element, click and drag to create a curve, okay, and click and drag to create the curve to the other way. And this one you can click and drag to create a curve like that. All right, and then to create this line is the same, guys. Just select the pen tool, go here, I'm gonna click on this area, like this, click on that one, and go back to the beginning. And then select the tool that is inside, and then click and drag to create that curve that you have there. And that looks nice. And with the white arrow, I can start moving this, and then create the stripe again. If this looks a little messy with too many things, what you can start doing is trying to add color. For example, I'm gonna select this element and I'm going to add a color. For example, let's say something like a red, and then I'm gonna set this element, this shape, and I'm going to select the color that is black inside. Then I'm gonna select the ribbon here, and this is going to be blue. All right, and then if you see this element is not on the correct position, you can open the layers panel, you can see that element there, and you have to drag beneath this shape, and just drag and drop like this, and now it's beneath that shape. Then select this one, and going to the properties panel, and I'm gonna put the color red, okay, a little darker. Then I'm gonna select the selection tool, and if you want to put this element behind this one, you can use the layers, but I would like to show you another way that you can do this. What you can do is just select this, go to the menu edit and select cut. Then select this element, go to the menu edit and select pacing back or pacing front. This is pretty useful instead to use the layers panel. I'm gonna pacing back, and now you can see it's on the back of that. All right, I'm going to continue doing this a little fast. Right, and I have the element. For the start, just select here, wanna start, create, wanna start like this. Then you can go here to the edit, select cut, and with the selection tool, select the ribbon and select edit, paste in front. All right, and then move to any position that you want. Hold on the option and move another one more to the right that maybe is there. All right, now we have to start moving the elements. I'm going to select all these elements that I have here, all these shapes. All right, I'm gonna cut. You can select the Command X. I'm gonna select the ribbon. Okay, I'm gonna select Command B to press B as in Bob to press on back, and now you have all the elements there. Okay, and now what I have to do, I am going to select everything again, remove the stroke, no stroke, select the shape builder tool. Hold on the option and delete any of these things that you can see outside that you don't need, all right, as a part of the drawing. And now it looks nice, and then just select group, and you have your hat that is not perfect, but is kind of cool. And then if you want to add, for example, a little curve, what you can do is just start playing around with the same tool inside the anchor, and I can, for example, position my mouse there, and I can create a nice curve for these things. Gonna look more organic, like a nice hat like that. You follow what I'm saying? Okay, that is the idea, guys. That is what you can do. I'm gonna press Command 0 to finish, and then you have this element that I can put there. I'm gonna unlock this. I'm gonna go here to the object, unlock all. Then I'm gonna select this guy and just delete. All right, just move this guy here. I'm gonna select all these this element. Double check the background is locked. Okay, on my layers panel, I am going to lock. If you see here, just take a look for the dot. I'm going to lock that. Double check the heel is locked. I'm gonna lock that. And then I can select this guy like this and put on the position that I want. For example, let's say like this. And then I am going to group this guy, go to the properties and select group, and everything is okay. For the text, it's pretty simple. Just select the text tool, the type tool. And now I am going to click here on this area. Just click, and then you can type, for example, tax return. Okay, you can highlight this, and then you can select another font. For example, here I can select, for example, bold, and I can increase the font to any size. Let's say, for example, 72. I'm gonna center. But when you center, it's not on the center of the page. What you have to do is select with the selection tool, and then you can start moving like this. And I can use the align panel. But first, I'm gonna write the bottom part. I'm gonna click. Okay. I'm going to use another font. Maybe this one is going to be regular. I'm going to decrease a little bit the size. Doesn't matter, guys. Doesn't have to be the same font. It's just the idea. All right. And now with the selection tool, select this. Hold on the shift, select this one, and you will see the align option. First, I'm going to select from here, align to artboard. And then I'm going to click on these guys. And now you can see both texts are on the center. You see, guys, that is the idea. I tried to do something pretty quick. If you dedicate a little more time, maybe you can do something a little much better. But this is the idea of this tutorial. All right, guys, I hope you like this tutorial. Let me know in the comment below and see you on the next one. Bye.